I got my good friend Walker Blanco coming over, bringing some of the rarest lizards in the North American pet trade.
They're called Sailfin dragons.
Yeah, we've been saying Hydrosaura because it just sounds so badass to say. That's their scientific family, their name. Banana.
This one's my good, actually.
That little head wave back and forth. Oh, they're so
and
cute.
Something that's really cool about these Sailfin dragons,
Banana.
is they're really, really good with eating from your finger.
You like that? Want me to help you out with that? There you go, eat that up. What is going on, beautiful people? I'm hanging out with my Gila monsters, my venomous lizards. This is my beautiful female, and that's my big male chomping down on some food right now. I'm going to be feeding them because today is actually going to be a total lizard episode. I'm not just feeding my Gila monsters, but I got my good friend Walker Blanco coming over, bringing some of the rarest lizards in the North American pet trade. So rare that no one's able to even keep them properly here in the United States. We're going to talk about that more in a second, but first, let's start feeding some more of these lizards. You want some food? Look, I got a wrap up for you right there. Look. Oh, it's like a little crocodile feeding show. Come on, you got it. Oh, there we go. Gotta watch out. You wouldn't even want to get nicked with one tooth. That's all it takes to get a little bit of that venom in you. Their venom glands are actually located on their bottom jaw. When it comes to their skull, although it looks real bulgy as if they have venom glands, that's just the muscle and that big skull of theirs. Their venom glands are completely in their bottom jaw, so they have to bite you and sink those teeth right in, and that venom oozes over those teeth into the victim's wound. So you wouldn't want to take a bite. Even though you wouldn't die from their bite, you definitely would endure a lot of pain. What are you doing? You want more food? You definitely would endure so much pain where you wouldn't want to bear it anymore, and that's why they're also nicknamed the suicide lizard. You gonna take that, you silly little crocodile lizard? Come on. Good girl. They are just so cool. Heavily armored lizards found out in Arizona, only coming out at dusk and dawn, hunting around at night. Which is another reason you want to keep your eyes peeled when you're crossing through the deserts at night, because these guys love to cross the roads. I'm not saying go out and move them across the road, but definitely be cautious when driving through desert roads in places like Arizona, so you don't hit these beautiful lizards. They are a protected species, and wildlife conservationists do everything they can to make sure this species specifically, is flourishing out in the wild. Right? And I want to make sure my lizards are flourishing here in captivity. Eat some more rat pup. There you go. Good lizard. And you, what are you doing? No. Get away from him. Good. It's always the ladies stealing everything from the men. Can't believe it. I'm kidding. Don't destroy me in the comment section. Anyways, beautiful people, I'm going to finish up feeding these lizards. In a second, we're going to be seeing my good friend Walker and this awesome lizard collection. Oh, don't be upset with me. Guys, look how cute this little Gila monster is when she chomps down her food. You want it? You want it? Ah! Good girl. Let's give her boyfriend another piece. Ready? You ready? You want some? Are you stuffed? There's no way you're stuffed. Come on. Oh, come on. Try harder. Good boy. Good boy. What a beautiful lizard. Look at that color. And you're all done already? You're a happy lizard. All right, beautiful people. I got my buddy Walker here, and he's here to show us his badass lizards. Hydrosaura. Sopeng?
So we're hoping it's
Sopeng.
This is the female right here, or one of the females, and this, I believe, is Microlophus, Hydrosaura microlophus, which is the giant Indonesian. Not many people are working with these in America. I want to take maybe this one's a little bit more flighty. Okay. These lizards are they're not worked with too much in the U.S. A lot of them that come in are imports or wild caught. This is import from Indonesia, farm raised. I've had her now for about 4 months, and they're amazing. I think that everyone that's into the reptiles, especially lizards, need to think about getting Hydrosaura because they are so smart. What they eat is so cool. You feed them just like an iguana, so the spring mix, and then we live in South Florida, so we have the pleasure of being able to walk outside and pick fresh hibiscus leaves, the flowers. They really like papaya leaves, the papaya fruit. They'll eat basically any fruit an iguana will eat, and then on top of that, they're carnivores. They'll eat fish, smaller lizards. I feed them a lot of roaches. I feed my roaches a really high protein diet that helps them to develop this very impressive fin. They're called Sailfin dragons.
Yeah, we've been saying Hydrosaura because it just sounds so badass to say. That's their scientific family, their name.
But as this lizard grows, it's from its head all the way down, running just like its dorsal fin. it will have these big fins, just like the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park.
And we'll put a photo right here so you guys can see a couple different species and how beautiful they are.
Yeah,
Bam! Look at this. Beautiful photos of these sailfins. I mean, bro, I can't get over them. Because I grew up seeing them in books and stuff like that, but nobody's ever kept them because it's so difficult to keep them in captivity, let alone even get them here into the United States or any other country besides their native country.
So then,
look at this.
This right here, this is my real special one, and the guys in Indonesia and the people that keep them here in the U.S., this is considered to be an impressive sailfin dragon. The color she has, everyone's saying it's a female. Originally, I thought this was a pair of a male and female. You can see how they're a little different. They come, I was told they came from the same exact region. They came in the same shipment in, but you never truly know. They will look completely different in about 2-3 years. You can see how she's developing. She has a few little scars from being in the wild or being in farm, but you see her sails coming in nice. And then the thing about these guys is they are so willing to trust, which is, it's a hard characteristic to find in reptiles. And with that being said, I've only been working with these lizards for about 3-4 months, and they were completely tame, or completely wild when I got them, in the sense that they were so skittish. They were completely afraid of me.
He's doing really good.
Yeah, no, she's extremely confident.
Or she, sorry.
Yeah, we think they're both girls. People make it really difficult to raise these things. The way that you will not be successful with these animals is putting them in housing that is too big and that they can damage their face.
They can see through it, right?
Yeah.
Like fencing, glass.
So the way that I've been keeping them so far, and they're gonna go outside once springtime comes, and once you have them outside, you have to think of something that, one, they can't escape out of, obviously, and then something that has nothing that they can bang their face on, because they're very tame for the most part. They want to just sit. If they find a nice area where there's sun, they're just going to sit there all day and get sun. But when they get spooked and they go, you have to make sure that they're not going to start rubbing up against chain link, because in one day,
they'll just beat their faces up.
They will beat themselves completely raw, and they don't do good with face rub. It's so much more impressive to have an animal that has the full features.
Of course, you don't want them. It's just like the crocs. People stick them in fish tanks and whatnot when they think they can have them as pets, and then their jaws are all pushed in and stubby, and their teeth are sticking out to the sides.
Exactly.
All improper care.
It's the same thing.
You guys, I can't express how impressed I am with these lizards, because nobody I know personally, growing up here in South Florida, which is like the epicenter for exotic reptiles, nobody successfully has kept these animals besides the guy Mike Lorette, who provided these lizards for him. Yeah. This guy's banana ready. He's gonna feed a little banana, and this will show how laid back they really are.
I told Chandler confidently that they're gonna eat, and I'm not confidently sure about the kind of mess up, but this is a complete new environment, so they're just analyzing everything.
Banana.
This one's not good. I should go.
That little head wave back and forth. Oh, they're so
and
cute.
Something that's really cool about these sailfin dragons,
banana,
is they're really good with eating from your finger, or eating from your hand. So I don't tweezer feed or tongue feed any of my reptiles. I feed all my animals right by hand, and it's always told not to do that. But I take the risk of getting a little nip from these younger animals, and these guys do a really good job with being careful of not biting your fingers. And if they do bite your finger, they gently let go and they look at you. They respond to music, which I haven't talked to Chandler too much about, but I've only had these for a few months, and I'll put them outside to bathe, and I position them so that they are comfortable. So I put them in an area that their escape route would be diving back into water, and then they just hang in sun. But whenever I start playing music, like the guitar, they go crazy. Their head will start doing that twitchy thing that she did when she was looking at the banana, and they'll approach to look what's going on, which is cool. They're very interested. Over in Indonesia, the guys that are raising these things, and they know the most about them, they walk around with these lizards like they're parrots. Yeah. They'll have a full-grown 4.5, 5-foot giant sailfin dragon with the full, beautiful, impressive tail just walking around the street. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing cooler than that. It's like it's a real little dragon. She wants some banana. The teeth are very,
Want banana? Oh, you got a little mealworm?
super warm.
Oh, he's gonna eat it. Look at him.
And I feed these super worms Missouri tortoise diet, Missouri turtle diet, freshwater turtle, and also fresh greens.
No worm.
Just so they're filled. Does anyone want a worm?
I do.
There's so much stuff.
Good. Sopang.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about Sopang for a second?
Yeah. So me and Chandler have been saying Sopang.
Sopang.
Just repetitively, like we've used the word out. But Sopang is the locality of what they say these are. So I'm in a few of these Indonesian Hydrosaura groups, and whenever I send a photo of these lizards over to the group, they always will put Sopang ?
Sopang? He's in a Facebook group to learn about sailfins in a group that nobody speaks English.
Yeah,
that's how dedicated he is to figure out what's going on with these guys in captivity.
We have to be. These animals are just as cool as any other lizard that we're keeping here in the U.S. And they make great buddies. They make great pets.
So cool.
They like being with each other. I'll tell you that much. They all the time you will see them catching heat and UV in their cage on top of each other, just like this. They love to pile. So they'll, when I pull them out sometimes, they'll just be both of them piled up on top of each other. Another thing with these guys, it's very important that you keep them as well hydrated as possible. And another thing is their water has to be
Hydrosaura! Hydro, water, Sora. Badass lizard.
You got to constantly be changing these guys' water. The second you put a new thing of water in, they're right in the water, using it to go to the bathroom. And really important to constantly be giving them fresh new water so they don't get any type of infection. These animals are very, very special.
I mean, evolutionary speaking, we're looking at a green basilis that evolved in Southeast Asia, right?
Yeah, they have a lot of the same traits of these basilis, and they have these special feet back here.
Look at these feet, look at these toes.
That are just like the basilis's feet. And these guys, when they're full grown, 4 feet, 5 feet long, they can take off running right across the water as if they were a little Jesus Christ lizard. So that's pretty cool to see.
Modified scales to catch that water.
When they get spooked, if they're on a branch, they'll dive into the water like our green iguanas here and go and hide under water.
That's so cool.
Like our buddy Gabe, he has it's probably a sibling to this. It's lighter in color, and he keeps it just in all water with one perch to catch sun on.
Do they sleep underwater too sometimes?
They'll sleep with their head out of the water, but they won't go under.
It is so cool to see these lizards in person and be able to handle them without them being scared and flighty, because usually you just see the smaller ones and they're running into crap. They're beating up their faces, they're doing terrible in captivity, but dude, your lizards are perfect. You've done an amazing job with them.
Man.
Of course, with the guidance of Mike Lorette, which is one of the original guys to be able to do this in America.
Yeah, there's a few guys that have been bringing these in for a while now, but Mike was definitely one of the first people or I think maybe the first person to really focus on breeding the pure stuff. The big problem we have in the United States here when we're working with sailfins is the majority of them are integrates.
Hybrids.
Yeah, that means they're hybrids. So you'll get a lot of Weberi, and then forgive me here, but amnosis.
Most of the people watching don't even know, so don't feel bad. He's worried about butchering the scientific name, but we know here on the Chandler's Wildlife Show, sometimes we don't say the scientific names right.
The thing is it's so important though, because so little is known about these science, and even the guys that know so much will look at this lizard
and
at this size and they're confused.
They don't know what they're looking at.
And it's important that the lizards we're getting in stay pure, so that you can really have maybe a positive effect on what's going on in the wild.
Obviously, the biggest message on my show is conservation, preservation of wildlife. And when we talk about breeding animals in captivity, I make it very clear that even if they're reptiles, inbreeding and hybridization is not a choice. That is not how you do conservation work. And we want to make sure everything that we breed is unrelated and it's also the same species. Because what's the good in breeding hybrids of animals that are not found together out in the wild? We want to preserve these animals, and if we're going to do that, we have to do it the right way. And Walker's doing an amazing job with these lizards by making sure he's got the right species in front of him, not just buying hybrids.
Right now is a cool process of just growing and seeing what we get, because the thing that's unique about these animals is when they're babies, they look much different than this. And then in about 4 months, 5 months, it will be a different lizard. And then in about a couple of years, you'll have you'll have a dragon, a real dragon, and that's what's so special.
Look at this. Look how laid back she is. She is so prehistoric looking. Look at that skin on her neck, her eyes, everything about him is just so prehistoric.
Yeah,
and you're just walking around as if you're from Southeast Asia and this is your pet. You're just like,
I'm telling you, one day I'll be riding my bike down here with two giant sailfins on
around Coconut Grove with sailfin dragons on his handlebars.
No one's ever seen that before in America.
Look how she's just looking around.
Oh, I'm
taking a look at everything.
She will look at every little thing in this room before she is cool.
There's so much going on in that little brain.
If you put food to her, no matter what, she eats it. So cool.
It's just like the snakes. People think that snakes and also crocodiles and other types of lizards just aren't smart. Yeah. Just because something doesn't speak to you doesn't mean it's not smart. There's so much going on in that little brain right now, analyzing everything around.
The noise, the smell, the way it's being touched.
If this animal wasn't smart, how did it process that you're its friend? That you're not trying to hurt it? These animals are incredible. The time that you put into them definitely shows for me to be able to stand here with a sailfin dragon on my arm as you talk about sailfin dragons. This is amazing. Like, I can't believe that I'm in America right now holding a sailfin dragon like this with no problems.
And these lizards are not used to being like transported. These lizards stay at my place always. They never ever leave. And I just pulled these guys out of their transport box, and once they look around and realize everything's cool, that's about it. They just hang.
Thank you so much for bringing these lizards over too. Look at that. So pang. So you want to put these back in the box, and we'll show them the last lizard we're going to show for this video. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, you look like Joe Exotic," blah 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 blah. Everyone forgets Steve Irwin had a mullet too.
The crocodile hunter himself.
Don't forget, Steve Irwin filmed his pilots jumping on crocs with his mullet flowing through the air.
And Ricky Mack said, what did he say? He said, "Since you're a real man."
He said, "Oh, you dog." Alright, so this next species of lizard is not a sailfin. It's actually a part of my favorite group of lizards on the planet.
Mine too.
Veneris, monitor lizards. And not just any run-of-the-mill monitor lizard that you'll see in the US or throughout the pet trade. This is a monitor lizard that truly takes time and effort to make it your friend because it's got a nasty bite, almost like a crocodile. The blue-tailed monitor. Look how beautiful this lizard is.
And he's in shed right now, that's why he's all a little wrinkly like that.
No worries, that's a beautiful lizard. Get a good shot of that beautiful blue tail. So tell us, bro, you've had this guy for about, what, a couple months now?
Yeah, so this is a young Duranus, a blue-tail monitor, and I've had him or her. I would like to think it's a male with the size of his head has started to bulk out like that. And I've had him for 4 or 5 months, and he's amazing. He's obviously a young monitor, so he's going to be very flighty and very untrustworthy. But with consistency and just not giving in and giving up on handling them and not restraining them, you can have a lizard that will slow down, I like to say. And that's what's
truly
important.
Building a trust with your animals, just like I did with my lace monitors. They start off small, they're scared of everything, just like any small reptile.
He's just watching everything that's going on. And the thing that's funny with him is, at any moment, he could just turn into a little lightning bolt
and dart out of here. Now, these guys are from northern Australia. They're also from a lot of the Southeast Asian islands, Papua New Guinea. Now, guys, it's also not a lizard that stays small. They can get like 5+ feet, right? Like a good-sized lizard.
And the thing that's cool about these, most people don't know, is they spend the majority of their time up in trees. So they have a lot of the same traits as a tree monitor. They use their tail in a prehensile manner, but I wouldn't say it's prehensile. They'll wrap it around things for a little safety like he's doing right there. But then they definitely have nails that are just like tree
real
monitors.
Good nails.
Strong.
It's okay, he's fine. And you've observed this lizard spreading out its ribs when it jumps out, right?
Oh yeah.
So just like green tree monitors, and some other monitor lizard species up in the trees, when they want to avoid a predator, they literally just jump.
Some of these guys are saying that crocodile monitors are doing it as well.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these tree monitors have adapted to spread their ribs to avoid predators. If they, for some reason, feel that they're about to get predated on by a bird of prey or a snake in a tree, they have the ability to jump off a branch, flatten out the ribs as much as possible, and wiggle in the air, basically like a dragonfly in the air. Walker's used to this little bugger, so he's always ready to grab him up before he jumps.
The good thing is that he's not biting, and it takes a long time to gain that trust with the monitor. And the way that I did that was not handling whatsoever. ever. I would feed him in the cage. I would let him come onto my hand on his own. And then once Corona happened, I was stuck inside for a couple of weeks, and I was just there looking at him every day, and I started taking him out. And slowly but surely, he's completely slowed down. He's never tried to bite me, but I've never really given him the opportunity to either. Never restrained him fully. I've always let him walk.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. When I work with my crocodilians,
Yeah, you just have to.
snakes,
The
any of
second
that.
that you restrain them, like I said, they're badass animals, and I think they really know that and understand that, and they won't bite until they have to. And this lizard, funny enough, most people wouldn't do this, but since they're from the same subspecies, Indicus, I raise him with a melanus monitor, which is the king, so the yellow monitor, and they're best buddies. A lot of people are always freaking out saying that I'm crazy for that, but if they're raised from a young age together and they're obviously monitored, they'll be just fine together. They like each other's company. If you get it on his eye there, you can really see all these different facial expressions. They love getting their face touched. If you ever get a lizard and they allow you to touch that face, this is where you really start creating that bond of no return. Touching on top of the head, bottom of the chin, right by the mouth, cleaning excess food, cleaning shed. This is when they start becoming your buddy.
Let me just reiterate on the fact that this is not an animal for anyone to get as a pet. Even though I want to present this to you guys and show that this is Walker's animal that he's put time into, Walker's been working with crocs, tigers, lions, all types of lizards, sharks, anything you can think of with fangs, claws, anything that can hurt you, he's worked with. So he has the background to be able to work with a lizard like this. If you guys don't study up on animals like this, you're not just putting the animal in harm's way, but you're putting yourself in harm's way. Yeah. There's a famous YouTube video of a very educated reptile owner who had many different monitors. Bill Durham?
Yeah, Bill Durham.
Bill Durham, famous video.
When I was a little kid, I've been watching him, and he has a blue tail monitor named Blue. And what that lizard did to him still has science and
in awe.
Because the monitor bit him on his hand, and I don't know how I don't know him personally, so I feel bad saying his name, but the lizard, from one bite, an adult blue tail monitor,
a good sized lizard, 4 or 5 feet long, maybe more.
Yeah, nasty and fat. It looked like it by a rattlesnake, and it severed tendons. He couldn't move his hand. So these lizards, they have saliva that's basically like a venomous.
Well, saliva is a modified, or venom is a modified saliva, and we're finding out more and more that many different monitor lizard species have a primitive type of venom. The lace monitors that I own have a primitive type of venom that has been studied by scientists. Black throat monitors, many different tree monitors, tricolored tree monitors have bitten their owners, and the owners have swelled up because there's some residual prehistoric venom going on there.
Oh, man.
So when we say Gila monsters, like at the beginning of the episode, or venomous lizards, before people would say Gila monsters and bead lizards are the only venomous lizards on the planet, and then it was on the fence with Komodo dragons whether it was bacteria and venom. No. It's both bacteria and venom for Komodo dragons and a lot of different monitor lizard species. Gila monsters and beadids are not the only venomous lizard on the planet. We have a plethora of amazing lizards that have the capability of putting you in a bad spot.
Yeah,
that's why they're not pets for everyone.
No, not at all.
We need to finish the story about Dave.
Well, what's the end of it? Oh,
the end is it.
He gets bit, and the bite from the start, he's gushing blood. It's horrible. He goes to the hospital in the video. Gushing blood. The nurses are like, "What bit you?" And they think it's a dog. And he's like, "No, a lizard did this." And then through the video, it's like a 7-minute video, he shows week after week after week.
Infection.
At the end of the video, in the beginning, he's been bit by everything. So he's very confident. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is a monitor bite. I'm going to be okay, whatever." At the end of the video, you can see and you can hear in his voice he's scared. And he knows that what's happened is it's of no return. I wonder how his hand is now.
I don't know. He was asking for funding.
But yeah, he was asking. He needed
help.
His hand, the fingers were not working anymore.
It literally swelled up so bad that a little bite turned into a giant open wound at risk of infection, which I'm pretty sure he ended up getting infected.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to knock on this guy. We're just trying to reiterate on the fact that these animals are not for everyone.
This guy that had this happen to him is, I would say, a pioneer of opening people's eyes to having lizards as pets.
Okay, it's cool. Such a cool lizard. Thank you so much for bringing your pets over.
Bro, anytime, Jim. Hey, anytime. Hey. So bang.
So bang! All right, beautiful people, check us out on the Patreon if you want to see more exclusive content. Check us out on Teespring if you want to get your own merchandise. Check Walker out on his Instagram so you can keep up with his monitors, his diving, all the crazy stuff that he does. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe, and most of all, stay gangster.
Anyone want a worm?
I do.
There's so much stuff.